meet you.
Nice
What's
to
your
meet
first name?
Brian.
Brian, who do you want to hear from?
I don't know. I didn't have anyone specific
Okay.
in mind.
All right. Just a general message then, or?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay. Do you have a grandfather? Do you want to hear from him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. So the first thing that he is showing me is the scales of justice, and there's a couple different contexts to that, or a couple different meanings. First of all, he says that you are doing a pretty good job of finding a balance between impulsiveness and planning, and that takes some work sometimes for you, but you're doing a good job with that. Also, he says you've been working really hard with patience versus that push. And he wants to acknowledge that you've put a lot of effort into growing yourself as a person, becoming more patient and becoming a little bit more insightful on that. So his hat is off to you. There's an old cabin that he's showing me. I don't know if when you were a kid you went camping, or if they had a cabin or something that was a little bit off the beaten path.
Not so much off the beaten path, but yeah.
A little cabin area, yeah. Anytime he's speaking that you need retreat, you need a place where you can just go and be without anybody else to bother with, or without being bothered by anyone else. But that retreat is something that's really important for you. And he says, don't underestimate what a difference that makes. This is a cool message. Your grandfather says, don't underestimate the value of nothing. Sometimes doing nothing is so valuable. And he says, you got to keep that in mind. There's a J like Jerry or a Jack, who's connected with your family too, who he's mentioning. He's just honoring him. And there's a lady with a name like Twyla or Tammy. It's a lady with a T. You'll think of who she is if you don't think of it right off. She's still physically here, and she's someone who's connected to you that he says is very loving and supportive. Now do you have two siblings in your family?
I have one real sibling, but I've got 2 half-siblings and 2 step-siblings.
So there's several different groups, but there's 2, so you have, it's biologically, there's 2 in your family.
Just, well,
you and one other,
me
yes,
and
yes. So your grandfather's honoring the 2 of you, and then the other 2 groups of 2 also. There's an M in that mix, like a Mark or a Matt, who's also connected with you or connected with your family, who he's honoring. Someone had a shoulder issue too that your grandfather's mentioning. Had you hurt your shoulder several years back, or had some kind of shoulder problems? Someone has. Did you try golfing?
Well, I play golf.
You do? Yes. He says you got to stretch. I'm telling you, he's warning you. He's giving you a little advice. Be sure you're stretching. You don't want to injure your shoulder for your golf game. And he's giving you he's giving you a tip. He says, pay attention, pay attention. You've done such a good job, he says. You've honored the family. Do you do things out of order sometimes just to keep yourself? He's showing me doing things backwards. As in, recently have you been trying to take a different route to work, or you've been going home a back way?
Well, it depends on traffic.
Where you'll take different routes.
Sometimes, yes.
Yes, yes. He says he wants you to keep doing that. No matter what's going on, always do something new. Try different routes. Try new perspectives. He says that's what keeps you young. You do such good work. He's really, really, really proud of you. Keep drinking lots and lots of water. He showed me somebody in the family had a heart test. I don't think it came back abnormal, or there wasn't anything wrong with it. I don't know if someone had to have just a yearly EKG, or if there'd been some kind of testing. But he said, just keep being healthy. You know how to take good care of yourself. Just do it. Someone also had a football connection in the family too. Did you play football in high school? Was there someone else in your family who did?
There's a couple of different people, I think.
In the family who do, yeah.
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah, that's the kind of level. He's been a very good protector, just a real nice presence in the family, because he cares about his family. There's a lady, okay, your grandfather also shows me the month of June. So there's a birthday or an anniversary, something significant in the month of June that he's recognizing. There's a lady with a name like June or Judy who's also connected with your family, who he's recognizing, who's still physically here. And again, you'll think of who she is or what her connection is. But he says there's a lot of good folks. You've got a lot of good folks you're surrounded with. Did you have a kind of a stint from about the age of 18 to about 22 where you had bad luck with cars, or you were always getting new cars, like trading cars in and out?
Somewhat.
Yeah, he remembers that. He's just recognizing and talking about that. But your luck's improved. He says you're keeping your luck up. There's also a connection with like the Carolina area, even down into Florida. I don't know if your family had talked about traveling down there, or if you've got other friends or some relations in that region. But you might be going down there or have, you know, there's some connections there, and he's recognizing that, and I see those as being really good. Do you know if your grandfather had worked at a gas station or like a filling shop?
One of them owned a filling shop.
He's with you too, yes. Yep, you got both with you. Yes, so your grandfather who owned the filling station, he just says how hard he worked. And they keep him busy in heaven. He's got to fix up Mother Mary's car, and he says, yeah, he still helps out over there. And he wants you to know he's very, very happy, and he has found peace for sure. Anytime and I think you sometimes smell like grease, or kind of have that smell that you would associate with cars or being around gas. That's his spirit just coming by to tell you, I love you and I'm proud of you. So yeah, he's for sure with you. He's telling me about playing in a band too. When you were in high school, were you in the band for a year or did a semester where you were playing instrument?
Not so much in high school, but I've
been in bands. Yeah. Yeah.
I've played semi-professionally for the past 20 years.
You're good. You're good, and he honors that. And you know what he says about the being in the band and playing. You could pick up anything you needed to pick up. He says you're just good. No matter what, you'll find a way to make it right. It's really, really cool. But he says you play from your heart. You don't play because it's a job. You play, he says you don't play because it's a job. You play because it's your love. It's a passion. And he says when you play, angels are listening. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, never give up your music. He says never lose your song. Your timing's always right. Yep, yeah. He says keep up. You're doing such a great job. All of heaven celebrates you. And just keep playing your song.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.